At the center of this storm stands Cassie Ventura, a former model and singer whose career was intertwined with Diddy's for over a decade. To the world, she lived a dream life: exclusive parties, private jets, and front row access to the highest echelons of entertainment. But according to her testimony, behind the designer labels and luxury trips was a woman stripped of her freedom and dignity. Cassie described being coerced into what Diddy referred to as freak-offs, multi-day, drug-fueled sex marathons with multiple partners. She claims these events weren't consensual indulgences, but carefully orchestrated displays of dominance. She also recounted moments of humiliation and control. When she disobeyed Diddy, he would take her phone, passport, and even her car keys, leaving her isolated and powerless. In one instance, he allegedly ran down Wilshire Boulevard with her phone, leaving her stranded and unable to call for help. Yet, despite these accounts, the defense presented a different story, one told through a series of text messages and continued voluntary contact long after the alleged abuse. The text messages: love, control, or something in between? The text exchanges between Diddy and Cassie reveal a complicated relationship dynamic. After the infamous incident at the Intercontinental Hotel, Diddy texted, "F a Friday, I don't even want to do that again." To which Cassie responded, "LOL, true." To the defense, this exchange suggests a shared desire to move past a bad night. To the prosecution, it's a chilling example of how normalized the violence had become. In another conversation, Diddy wrote, "I'm so horny for you. Want to freak off one last time?" Cassie responded, "I don't want it to be the last time. I want to freak off for the first time." The prosecution argues that Cassie's responses were the result of deep emotional manipulation, fear, and trauma bonding. The defense claims it demonstrates mutual consent in a complicated but ongoing relationship. Even as she tried to distance herself, Diddy continued his emotional hold. And after the death of Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime ex and the mother of his children, Cassie texted, "Why did you call Kim your soulmate? What was the 11 years all about?" Diddy, "You're going to make a beautiful mother. God bless." The exchanges continued like this for months, painting a picture of a relationship that was equal parts affection, manipulation, and unresolved emotional ties. The freak-offs, threats, and ultimate control. One of the most disturbing elements of the trial is the discussion around the so-called freak-offs. Cassie described them as emotionally and physically exhausting events that left her depleted, both mentally and physically. When she finally tried to leave the relationship for good, Diddy's messages reportedly turned more menacing. In one text, he wrote, "Does your husband know you were raped?" At other times, his manipulation came in the form of seemingly innocent requests. "Seduce me all day," a phrase Cassie testified was his way of pressuring her into further participation. When asked why she didn't simply walk away, Cassie's answer brought the courtroom to a standstill. "Because I was scared for my safety, my career, and I guess I still wanted love." Physical evidence, proof or circumstantial. When law enforcement raided Diddy's properties, they found an alarming amount of items that prosecutors say corroborate Cassie's claims. Among them were bags stuffed with Johnson & Johnson baby oil, dozens of bottles of Astroglide, and prescription bottles under the fake name Frank Black, containing ketamine and MDMA. Prosecutors presented this as hard evidence of a lifestyle steeped in control and debauchery, but the defense dismissed it as circumstantial, arguing that none of the items directly prove non-consensual activity. They insisted that Diddy lived a wild, extravagant lifestyle, one he never hid, but that lifestyle didn't equate to criminal activity. The celebrity web, guilt by association? The case has sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the music industry. Celebrities like Chris Brown, Kid Cudi, and Young Thug were mentioned throughout testimony, not as accused parties, but as familiar faces within Diddy's social circle. At one point, Diddy allegedly became enraged over Cassie's rumored interactions with Chris Brown, leading to a violent confrontation. The defense argued that celebrity connections shouldn't be misconstrued as evidence of wrongdoing. In their words, fame attracts fame. That doesn't make every famous guest at a party complicit in illegal behavior. Justin Bieber breaks his silence. Amid the media storm, Justin Bieber issued a public statement to distance himself from speculation. "I am not a victim. Focus on the real victims who deserve justice." His statement not only cleared his name, but also reminded the public that the focus should remain on facts, not rumors or social media gossip. Is this justice or a high-profile spectacle? As the trial continues, the stakes couldn't be higher. If convicted, Diddy faces life in prison. But even if he's acquitted, his legacy is already tarnished, his empire shaken, and his influence diminished. This case is no longer just about one man. It's about how society grapples with the complexities of fame, power, trauma, and accountability. Is this the fall of a manipulative predator, or the public unraveling of a toxic, dysfunctional relationship in which both parties played a role? The jury will decide the legal outcome. But in the court of public opinion, the verdict may already be set. You've heard both sides, the emotional testimony and the defense's counterarguments. Now we want to hear from you. Is this a story of undeniable abuse or a cautionary tale of fame, power, and complicated relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for real, balanced updates as this trial unfolds. Justice is on trial. Let's talk about it.